that boom, drop that boom.
So looking back at my life, you know, it's amazing that I survived a few of the things I survived. So fast forward to when I turned 12 and I'm in middle school, 13. And man, I was tired of getting picked on. Chubby kid, you know, everybody would slap me and beat me because I was always a straight A student. I was in the book. So between my 7th and 8th grade year, that summer, I decided to try to lose some weight, really get in shape. And, you know, spent all summer in the backfield anyway. And
get contacts.
Yep. And so a day before school started, I asked my cousin to take me up to the barbershop. And I had them cut a mohawk in my head. Now, I'm going to tell you, my mom and daddy were hotter than a fire ants dance and a flash flood. They were not happy people. But guess what? It's already there. What you going to do? The hair's gone. I got a streak going down the middle. So I go to the first day of 8th grade like that. And everybody's, you know, what's going on with Ronnie? So the first week or two, I didn't get picked on. Like, people were like, something's up. You know, he's acting different. And then I started watching him pick on other kids. And I'm like, you know what? I've had enough of this. So the toughest guy in school at that time was, there were 2 boys. One of them was named Joe. I'm not going to say his last name. And his friend Brian. And I walked in the bathroom and they were actually giving a guy a swirly. You know what a swirly is?
No.
They stick your head in the toilet and flush it.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
It swirls your hair. So they were giving him a swirly. And I walked over there and said, y'all let him go. And the boy's name, I can tell you, it was Chris Cooley. And I said, y'all let him go, leave him alone. And they turn around and next thing I know, we're going to have to fight. And at this point, I had never been in a fist fight, like never. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So we go to fighting, and I literally leave both of these boys in the bathroom floor.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the start of the most tragic journey anybody could take, because that is the day I realized, and I had no idea at the time, that I could fight. And I said, that must be a fluke. Like, I must have just got lucky punches in or something. But, you know, we grew up tough, man. We were farmers. We were in the field every day. Like, we had strong hands. About a week later, they were picking on another little kid. Another guy was. And he's an old country redneck, and he was a tough guy, too. And I went over there, told him to stop. He said no. So, all right, here we go. I knocked this dude out cold. I mean, like an Eskimo's toilet seat on Christmas Island. That's when I started saying, you know what, I can make a difference. I'm going to start standing up for all these kids. And that year, I probably got suspended 6 or 7 times for fighting. Because if you went and picked on one of the kids on the chess team, or you went and picked on one of the nerds, or you went and picked on the guy that, you know, didn't have any money and his shoes were hand-me-downs from 30 years ago, if you want to make fun of those people, well, you had to deal with me. And in a lot of ways, you know, at the time, that seemed like a good thing. But looking back, that was horrible. Because I started saying, man, I can use these to change the trajectory of my life. And when you see the TV show, and this is the one thing about the show that I've never liked, they always make me look like this big wimp. You know, that Bobby, okay? And everybody's like, yeah, well, Bobby, I always had to protect you. And what they don't realize is Bobby never once in his life protected me. I mean, literally, and you'll testify, if we go out in the club and get in a fight, who was the one fighting?
It was you.
Who was the one that was always starting to fight and winning the fight? And
had the anger issues.
Yeah, 100% I had anger issues. I had, well, we'll get into it in a minute, but I had drug issues, steroid issues, anger issues. I had a lot of issues.
Yep.
But I was the fighter. So, you know, we transfer into high school.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I still got a love and supportive family. They shipped me into a magnet school in Raleigh. By the time I was done with high school, I had to go to 5 different high schools.
I know. Every time someone walks up to me, they're like, I know your husband. I was like, you do? And they're like, yeah, we went to high school together. I'm like, which one? Yep. And they'll say Eastwake or Enlow or wherever else.
Midway.
Yeah.
Triple S.
Yeah.
RCC.
Yeah.
So I went to 5 high schools because I was expelled from 4 of them. And my senior year, the only place it would take me was a Christian school. And I love this story because I'll never forget it, man. At this time, I'm smoking dope. And I'll go back to that in just a second. But
so the fighting, I guess, pretty much rolled you into a different lifestyle.
Well, it made me feel, I'm going to be honest, man. Girls loved it. They love it.
The bad boy?
Tough country bad boy. I'd walk around in flannel shirts with the sleeves cut off, look like the biggest redneck you ever seen, and all them little rich, preppy cheerleader girls loved it. And I could fight. And nobody messed with you if you were with me and my boys. And so, and you know, my brother and his friends were all wrestlers, so they could literally throw down, because if you've never fought a wrestler, you got to be careful. Them will press you in a second, then they'll ground and pound you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I started hanging out with another guy that ended up being fourth strongest man in the world, 2022. I mean, 2002, you hung out with him. We were all best friends. But so this fighting was getting me in a lot of trouble.
So you go to
I
RCC.
go to RCC. I'm going to step back in just a second, but I go to RCC, and I'll never forget Jim Kelly was one of the pastors, and I'm standing on the corner, and I'm smoking something that I shouldn't have been smoking, period. But regardless, that was my lifestyle. Get up in the morning, that's what I did. And I see him coming around the corner, so I put it in my hand, crush it, put it in my mouth, and swallow it.
Oh God.
Yeah, I didn't want to get caught with it.
Ugh.
And
Nasty.
this is my first day of school. This is the first morning. This is before the first class.
Yeah, my first days never ever ended up that way.
And he walks by me, and I know he smells it, because later on I find out Jim was a hippie. He used to do stuff like that. And he walks by me, and he gets about, and I'm standing there, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna get expelled first day. Last school I can graduate from. And he gets about 10 or 15 steps from me, and he just stops dead after he passes me. And I'm like, yep, here we go, you know. And I'm already thinking what I'm going to do. Like, I'm probably going to have to knock this old man out. Like, literally, that's what's going through my head. Like, I might do something, run, I don't know. And he never turns and faces me, but he says, son. And I was like, yes, sir. And he's like, you know, you don't go to hell for smoking, but you sure smell like you've been there. And he walks off. And that was the first time in a long time somebody beside my family had cut me a break or showed me affection or love or given me a chance, knowing that what I was doing was 100% wrong. That was the first time I experienced, I'm going to say forgiveness, because he could have done anything he wanted me that day.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to step back 2 years. When I started fighting, I got into high school. I started hanging out with a really rough crowd, because if you fight a lot, you're going to hang out with guys that fight a lot, you know. And I hung out with a guy named Shane. He was my best friend, and his brothers, they all fought all the time. And started smoking dope, marijuana. And back then, they didn't know if marijuana was physically addictive or mentally addictive or what the thing was. You know, it was new. It was just kind of taking over after the 60s eras. And my mom, I got called a couple times. I got arrested. And my mom actually decided to send me to a rehabilitation center at Duke Hospital, 3rd floor on the Meyer ward. And that is the thing that took me until after me and you were together for many years before I could forgive this guy or forgive myself. And we've had many conversations about this. But so I get in here, and I'm in there from right before Thanksgiving all the way through Valentine's Day. So I'm missing all the major holidays. And you can't leave this place. But the problem was...
And you have to remember, hurt people hurt other people.
100%.
So he's hurting people. His mom is looking for a way to help her son, which I understand 100%. And you never expect the people that are supposed to help your child to hurt them worse.
Yeah, I don't blame Mama for nothing. She was
right.
Trying to help. But after the second week there, of course, I'm fighting. When you get in a fight there, they would literally take you in this room and strap you down, hands and feet. They would strip you down to your underwear, and they would lay you on a bed where you couldn't move, and you had to stay there 24 hours. And that was your punishment. And so the bad part was sometimes they would strap you face up, and sometimes they would strap you face down. And strapping somebody face down is horrible. And I soon found out why that happened, because the doctor would only come see us in the middle of the night, and I only saw him twice a week. And the first couple of times that he came, he'd come wake us up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and we'd go in a little room and meet with him. Well, when I started getting in trouble, I'll never forget, because I can still hear the sounds every single day in my ear. I mean, I can hear them. But if you've ever heard a set of old janitor's keys, when you walk, they click. They all hit together. And hard shoes, like not penny loafers, but the dress shoes. Doctors, he always wore them instead of tennis shoes for some reason. And every Tuesday and Thursday, for some reason, I was getting locked down in this room, and they started putting me face down. And every Tuesday and Thursday for about 4 months, I would hear the door open. I would hear the click, click, click. I would hear the keys jiggle. It would open up, and this doctor would rape me. And this is for a couple of months. And I'm a 15-year-old kid. And this is the dude that's supposed to be helping me. And I'm not trying to be graphic or anything, but this wasn't no 5'6" man. This was a big man.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude would rape me. And he'd tell us, if you say anything, nobody will believe you. Of course, back then you couldn't prove things. And